Now, this is just a quick video explaining what you're going to have to do for this. One of our very first assignments. This is a little intro quiz. Now, it is a quiz. For the most part, I just want you to take it. It's less right or wrong, although you can get the questions right or wrong, but it's more to see where everybody stands in, programming wise. When you look at programming, you have to think a certain way to do it. Things have to be ordered, logical. You can't just, willy-nilly throw things here, there. They have to be done in a certain sequence. And that's what a lot of these questions are about. They're about basically, are you thinking like a programmer? Uh, just give you an example. The first question is, do you have any previous programming experience? If so, doing what, how long? The reason I'm asking that is specifically for, you know, if you have previous programming experience, that can help or hinder. It depends on the person. It can help because programming is very similar across the languages. A lot of them are, as I've mentioned before, related to one another. They're related to the point to where a lot of the writing, the structure is almost exactly the same. C++, C Sharp, Java, there's a lot of crossover that's almost exactly the same in certain places. And then other places where it's different. Now, if you've used another language before, and there's a lot of similarities there, that can help you. Uh, it's very, it's a lot easier to transition if you've learned one language thoroughly and then start learning another because if there's a lot of similarities, it's much easier to go, from one to the other. Now, the difficulty is if you've learned one language, partially, somewhat, or you're trying to learn two at the same time, you can get confused. I've had people writing code and then they raise their hand and I come over there and I'm like, I got all these errors, I don't know why. And I look at it, I'm like, that's because you're writing Visual Basic. That's not the same as Java. Some of the structure is the same, but the actual syntax is not. It's like, when I learn to speak a particular language, there might be other languages that are similar and have similar words. Uh, I don't know, German and Dutch aren't so dissimilar, I guess. There's a little bit of crossover there in some places. Um, but there are some languages that are similar, but they're not the same. If I say it in Visual Basic, it's not going to work in Java because it doesn't. The syntax is there. We go. The syntax isn't the same. So that's just all I'm asking, and it honestly depends on the person. It just lets me know if you have any experience, and I kind of know what to expect when you're working your projects. If you have zero experience and then you start doing some super advanced stuff that, you know, we're not even talking about in class, that tends to make me wonder a little bit. And I look a little closer at people's code when that happens. Which I've had somebody who barely able to code anything turn in something that is well beyond anything they should be able to do. And sure enough, they copied it from someone else. So that's just what all these questions are. Most of them are multiple choice, just logic type questions, uh, like that, because programming is very logical. Just take the quiz, I'll grade it and read through the results, and then there will be a video kind of going over it after you guys finish it. Now, let's see here. That's just a little quick intro into that intro quiz. Uh, if you have any questions or anything, just leave a message down at the bottom.